I'm going to just start with this one. And this is just going to be I'll show you the pages, talk a little bit about them. So one of the things that I do is when we go places, anywhere, if there's a coaster or brochure or something, I'll grab it, and then that's what I'll journal on, and it's kind of a fun way to remember things. Pick flowers, press them, I'll print out lyrics. My friends and I went to a concert, and so I printed out lyrics from a CD that I bought there, and then a lot of times I'll just put words that have special meaning from that day, and it doesn't make sense to other people when they read it, but to me, I know what every single word means and why I wrote it in there, and it's a great way of making memories. Strawberry social, my kids' school. And this is just to show you some inspiration of what I do. Oftentimes I'll print out little pictures. If I have so many good pictures from the day, and it's gonna fill up the page too much because I also want to journal, I'll print them out smaller and put them in a little pocket. And these are fun for the boys. That's actually their favorite thing when they look through, is when I have little envelopes or pockets full of things. Moon dip. Every month I meet with a group of women and we dip under a full moon in the Sound. Oftentimes I'll take a picture of a book I'm reading, or I'll write a little blurb so that I remember this is a note from a friend. Stick that in there too. Lots of washi tape. Lots of flowers. You know I love my flowers. This is when I started my blog, Planning Marigolds. So I put a package of marigolds in there. This is from that same band that we went to go see. That's the front of their CD cover. These are my babies. Talking a little bit about each of them. When I journal, I try to be as specific as I can because I think about me or them reading this and what they would want to hear about. So I'm just gonna, you climb beanstalks naked and steal salami and cheese sticks out of the fridge. And that paints such a perfect picture of that day that I was writing that and where he was at in his life. And little pockets again. This is from a couple years ago, and I actually just printed these out to put on my wall. These are flowers from that day. A lot of time I'll make lists like this, things I want to manifest and bring into my life. I'll write it down. It's fun to go back through the years and see how many of those things came true. Crab. It's a big thing here in Whidbey. My husband and I, some might say we have a problem. We eat so much of it. And because I just print these out on paper, I can journal over them, and oftentimes I do. And nothing that's fancy. You can see that every day is a little different. This is just written on top of paint, and the workshops that I'm putting together will show you exactly how I make these pages. This is really just a flip through on some of mine. I like to do pages like this too, where there's just like something a little different. So this is from a book, one of my favorite books by Sark. And what I'll often do, I have one here. Oh yeah. This is the book. When I have a favorite book like that, of course, I'm not going to cut up that book because I read it over and over and over again. But what I'll do is if I see it at a thrift store, I'll buy an extra copy, and that will be the book that I use in my journals. Again, just words from that day. This is the 4th of July. Homemade flags, fireworks, big green egg ribs, Max Welton, porta potty pit stops. That's called having 3-year-old twins. So So I'm not writing a ton of meaningful things, but to me, it means a lot reading back through it. And I'm right back to that day. Postcards. A good artist that I really like. This is when I started making journals for kids. And this, I just print out big pictures sometimes and journal all the way over it. This is just about my little sweet potato. His name is Tate. Double Bluff Beach, which we tend to go to all the time in the summer. We pretty much live there. Enemy Ship. That was a game that he would play all the time. This is just scrapbook paper, flowers, a book I was reading at the time. I always find this is a good place to do art too, because it feels kind of free. Another Sark. I actually went here when I was, I don't know, maybe 10. This is from where my mom is from, Wahoo, Nebraska. We took a road trip out there, and I had found this in a box of things she gave me, so I stuck it in there. I took a picture of a big flyer for this Into the Woods festival we went to, and then I just printed out that picture that I took so that I could shrink it down and stick it in here. This was fun. They played that night at the Into the Woods, so I grabbed a sticker. I knew I'd find a place for it. Farmer's market, stick it in there. The fair. Little pockets of goodness. My friend gave this to me with her little, take an apple round and red, don't slice down, slice through instead. Right inside and you will see a star so pretty as can be. She put a little dried apple in there, stuck it in so I'd remember. Birthday card. Oh, this is fun. So every once in a while I will stick something like this in here. I wrote this in 1992, so I was 9. This is my poetry. And I think I put this in here because this little poem. I ran past the huckleberry bush. I ran past the fossil. I ran past the cave. I ran past the bird. And then home. Home sweet home where I can't smell skunks. So this is all this. And then it says, I feel good to be alive. I still feel like that. Beach days. Trip to see my parents. It's their little trailer. Cinnamon rolls my uncle made. We made homemade banjos out of pie plates with cardboard, and the boys put on a concert for me on our deck. They're so sweet. I remember this being such a fun day, and I actually wrote a whole blog post about this on my blog, but it was one of those days where in the morning I just woke up and I was like, get in the car, let's go. And we just drove to this hike, and we hiked up to this lake and stripped down naked. We were the only ones there, of course, and gave them their first swimming lesson in the lake and just had one of those magical days. And I thought, it's being a stay-at-home mom does have its advantages. Sometimes it gets a bad rap. You can really get stuck inside of your head just laying around, but I shouldn't say laying around, stuck in your house. But every day you can make the decision to just get out and go to have an adventure. It's from a childhood book. I'll stick little tea things in there. If I find a beautiful book, sometimes I won't touch it because it's on my bookshelf and it's special, but occasionally it'll be so tattered and they'll be selling it for like 50 cents at Goodwill, and then I will use the illustrations in my journals. And I did have an idea of actually putting together little bundles of scrapbook paper and fun things to sell to people that kind of want a little bit of a leg up on their journaling. And I'll be including some of those illustrations and postcards and fun stuff. Lummi Island, Arts Fair. I actually won a photo shoot with a local photographer, and she took us to the beach, and such a good day. Okay, that's the end of this one. So I hope you gained some inspiration. Send me a message or a comment if you have any questions, and I promise you a workshop is coming so you can make your own.